Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about simple daily rituals to help you stay more connected, more grounded, but also more in tune with the greater universe. I love daily rituals. I love the magic of rituals, whether those rituals are in the physical space or they are etheric or energy rituals. I think that inviting a ritual into our life is akin to inviting our spirit to really fully descend into our bodies and come into this third dimensional time-space reality to make some magic happen. That is how I think about rituals. I find that as we run so fast in our busy lives trying to hit our goals and make things happen, the magic of ritual is what allows us to stay connected to both the higher spheres where our higher self and source consciousness dwells, as well as staying centered and connected to the heart of Gaia itself. I actually feel called to talk to you through some of the very simple rituals that I either do right now or did at some point in the past, and then we'll see how this goes. So the first one is, let's start with the morning. In the morning, I love to do a water cleanse. Only takes a couple of minutes. This is not all that time consuming. And I started doing this when I just had my awakening. This was like one of the very first things that I wanted to do, is connect to the energy of the water every morning. Now, I run a little bit on the fire side of things. So let's get this out of the way, right? So for a fire, it's really, really important to balance out the raging heat inside with all kinds of water. So it could be that I love this because of who I am, but I love the waterfall exercise. If you've been following me, you probably heard me mention it a time or a dozen. But in the morning, imagine standing under a waterfall of light and imagine the waterfall taking away all of the dirt, debris, and yuckiness off of your body. When you wake up in the morning, unfortunately, you're not in your most pristine shape, or you may be well rested, but in terms of energy, your soul has been traveling, right? So your soul has just come back into your body, and it needs a shower. That's how I think about it. Okay, that didn't come across right. But you know what I mean? Your soul has been astral traveling all night. It's been going through things. It may have been passing through some tests and simulation games. It may have visited remote worlds. It may have traveled to different temples, etc., etc. So your soul has been doing things, right? So when you wake up in the morning, it's really important to cleanse all of that so you can start the day fresh. So the waterfall I found, you can do the waterfall of light. You can also do a waterfall of a particular color, whatever's calling to you in the moment. Turquoise, magenta, like be creative. And this is one way for you to stay in touch with your intuition, because your intuition, your subconscious, always knows best. It knows exactly what kind of waters you're craving. And so it'll give you exactly those kinds of waters. I also found that now that I've been doing this practice for years, I prefer like a version of that on steroids, which is, I call it taking a plunge. Literally, it feels like you're walking into a temple, and then there is this like tub in front of you, and that tub is usually filled with a water of a particular color. And then I just take a plunge, like take a deep dive, and then I stay underwater for a few moments. And I just imagine that this water that is part of this tub is entering and seeping into my pores and then shifting me at cellular level. And then, the water can go where it needs to go. But I find this maybe even works better than the waterfall. So love this. Second daily ritual is protection. I have made a whole video about protection and protecting your energy, etc. It was a requested video. We're going to link it down below for those of you that are curious. But there's a very, very simple protection ritual. I will be very upfront with you. I don't do this anymore. My level of vibration is high enough that I don't need to layer myself and douse myself with protection spells every time I leave my place. But at the beginning, when I was a little bit wobbly on my feet as kind of like the new awakened soul, it felt like everything in the kitchen sink could get me down. And I loved this little exercise. So sphere, the shape of the sphere works really, really well for protection. So you would imagine like putting on 3 spheres around your body. You can do them in any order, but my favorite for protection are blue, white, and gold. Those are really, really powerful protection colors. And, they would repel any type of negativity and they would really preserve your energy the way that you are. However, I will tell you this. Sometimes we have astral parasites, energetic leakages, stress, and all kinds of yuckiness already in our auric field. So when you're setting up protection layers, it's kind of like cooping yourself, it's like barring the door, closing the windows and staying indoors. But if your auric field is not in tip-top shape, you're going to be stewing in your own juices of darkness. And that's why I like to do a clearing exercise as well. And I love this very much. And I used to do it all the time. And now I only do it when the occasion calls, like when I feel like I need like a quick pick me up. So I imagine that there is a sun in front of my hands, the sun, the golden sun. And then I charge the sun with my energy, like I send energy through to that sun. And then that sun starts growing, like grows up. And then if I'm looking to clear my auric field really quickly, I would just like expand that sun and then just blow it up out of proportion, just blow it out. And then it's just like an explosion of like gold codes and gold light everywhere. And then my auric field just feels so good. You see, I did it right now and I want to exhale. It was so good and so powerful. So if this feels good to you, do the protection, but then also do the bursting of the sun. A courtesy of Maria. That's how I'm going to dub this practice. The bursting of the sun sounds morbid, but it is very. It explains it fairly well. All right, this third one I'm really really excited about. You know how our lower selves like to get real busy, and in the morning, I like this as a morning practice. We may not always have the time to connect to our higher self, depending on how in tune you are. And for some of you, connecting to your higher self may take 10 minutes. Some of you are not even able to connect in the first place. And by the way, this is a no judgment zone. And I want to give you an exercise that's going to work for you. A ritual is going to work for you regardless of where you stand. And I like this because it is so simple, so easy, and so powerful. It's called, how I want to call it, is aligning to your higher good or your greater good. So you would close your eyes, literally takes 1 minute. And you would want to imagine that you're a soul. Well, I guess you're like this little avatar, this like little baby running around. And then in front of you, there's many tracks. There are many tracks. Like there are all these roads in front of you, paths to take. And then you would notice that your avatar, like your little baby that represents you, like the little human, is already running up one of these tracks. And so you wake up in the morning and you already you happen upon a soup of things that are in existence, right? You happen upon a continuity. And as you happen upon a continuity, you already have been running a certain track yesterday, the day before, etc., etc. Now, is this the track of your higher and greater good? Maybe, maybe not. I like to realign myself to the track of my highest good every morning. It is not dissimilar to connecting to the North Star, only a little bit different, right? In this particular case, we're not tapping into an external authority like a North Star. We're tapping into the wisdom of the universe, almost the wisdom of the Divine Mother, if you will. And so I just ask the universe when I close my eyes, I see myself as this little avatar running around. I ask the universe to place me onto the path that is most aligned with my highest good. Usually it's the path that's right in front of me, but my avatar has been running left or, to the left or to the right of that. And then I see this like an invisible hand taking my baby avatar and dropping it smack into this new path. And then the alignment happens. And then my avatar starts running on the path of the greater, higher good. Essentially, what you need to do is transplant yourself from wherever you are onto the path of your greater and higher good. You're going to thank me later. Fourth thing. The fourth thing is chakra alignment. I did a whole guided meditation around chakra alignment on our Sacred Universe podcast. I'm going to link this down below for those of you that want to be guided through this experience. But two things that, again, do you need to do this every day? This particular one? No, this is on an as needed basis. I do find though that this is a really, really good practice. And when I need to be intentional, when I need to be in my creative zone, I always do the chakra alignment. When you do the chakra alignment, you need to align your chakras around the spinal cord. You need to make sure they're not to the left or to the right of you. And you need to make sure they're not to the front or to the back of your spine, because chakras run. They're like the little avatar that we just spoke about. They're just running around like crazy. And when I say that, okay, take it with a grain of salt, you guys, because I say something in a humorous way, and then I get this feedback from the collective. How you guys took it is not what I said, but okay, let's set the record straight. Your chakras could temporarily get out of alignment through the experiences that you are having. They don't just run around randomly, right? Your body, your energy body, is a very sophisticated mechanism where everything is interconnected. So somebody calls you and delivers a piece of bad news, your chakras could get out of alignment, right? When you are setting yourself up for a new day, you want to be as primed for success as possible, as primed for happiness as possible, right? And so daily chakra alignment is really important. You would just close your eyes, check in with your 7 chakras, and just move them to the central axis of your body, one by one by one. And then you can rotate them as well. If you rotate them, kind of like give them like a clockwise movement or just a rotation, give them a spin, that is their most active state. So chakras really, really love that. Another thing that I really, really love is using the energy of the pyramid to help certain energies course through me. So I find that one of my favorite shapes is the flower of life. And if I want to be in complete alignment, what I like to do with the flower of life is I imagine there's a pyramid of light that covers my entire body. And at the base of the pyramid, there is the flower of life pattern. And by the way, we're going to probably show a picture of the flower of life pattern for those of you that are not familiar with what that is. The flower of life is the most potent emanation of the Divine Mother in a sacred geometric form, sacred geometric shape. This is literally the epitome of creation and multiplication in the physical world, in a physical embodiment. And so I place the flower of life at the base of the pyramid that I'm surrounded by. And then there's this pillar of like just pink goodness, pink light just shooting up through me. And it's like a Kundalini rising, only better, you guys. Super cool. Love this practice. Highly, highly recommend. And it's like really, really quick. It's like literally 5 seconds of your life. Okay, so these are the things that I do in the morning. What do I do in the evening? I don't do this every day, but I love sun gazing at around 6 to 6:30 p.m. Now, depending on where you are in the world, this may be a terrible time, but depending on when it goes dark, about 30 minutes before sunset is when it is safe for you to do sun gazing. I definitely would not recommend to do sun gazing in the middle of the day. And so I usually go on my pier and, where I can just stare into the sun unobstructedly and just watch the sunset. At first, the first 30 seconds of looking at the sun are a little strange. Like you don't really feel much. But then once you get a minute and over, you get into this really interesting portal with source consciousness. And I find that I get a lot of aha moments and insights and just really a lot of nurturing from source when I do sun gazing in the evening. And I like this as a closing ritual for my day because there's usually a lot of happening, right? Because the rituals I do the morning and in the evening, they're like a sandwich, right? With my day in between. And I need to make sure that whatever I do is extremely intentional. And for me, sun gazing is one such. It's one such ritual. I usually gaze straight at the sun. I mean, 3 minutes. You can also start small, and I don't know, 30 seconds at a time, 40 seconds at a time, because I know some of you are still worried around does it hurt your eyesight? I have good eyesight, again, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not a doctor and definitely cannot give you medical advice. But I do love sun gazing as a spiritual experience. It is extremely transformative. It makes you feel incredible oneness. You realize that you are this one particle of matter floating in ether on this blue planet that's circulating on its elliptical orbit somewhere in the greater cosmos. And it's just kind of beautiful. And it does give you a first row, a behind the scenes glimpse into how source consciousness thinks, feels, perceives, plans. So it's incredible. Highly, highly recommend. That's sun gazing. Then as we're getting into the late evening, what I like to do is before I go to bed, I like to do my gratitude exercise. I used to do gratitude first thing in the morning. And I noticed that when I did gratitude exercise, what do I mean by that? First and foremost, a gratitude exercise for me is list 3 things, but think of 3 things that you're really, really grateful for today. I found that when I did it in the morning, I would always mention the same stuff over and over again. Like, I'm grateful for my cat. I'm grateful for my parents, etc., because you kind of like wake up and the happening hasn't happened yet, right? And so you think of things that you're eternally grateful for. But I find that gratitude is ever so more powerful when you list new things every single time, when you don't repeat yourself. And you have to really force yourself to do that, because your brain is automatically going to loop back to the things that you're forever grateful for. And I find that this is easier to do in the evening after things have already happened. What specifically this day have you been grateful for? Did that particular apple that you eat, was that the highlight of your day, right? And that makes it very pointed, and that makes it very targeted, and that makes it very different all the time, and that makes it more meaningful to me and to the universe. And I find that, again, that gratitude brings me more into alignment, more into the flow of my personal river of abundance, and I just love it. Then if the day was tough, I would do like a little violet flame activation, or like a little violet flame exercise. So in the same way that I'm using the energy of water in the morning, I use violet flame in the evening. You essentially imagine the violet flame burning in front of you. You step into it, and you allow the flicks of the violet flame to cleanse away any negativity, any darkness, anything that no longer serves you, or all just like the weight of the day, and allows it allows your body systems, your organs, to stay in their pristine state. So I like the violet flame. Sometimes I also because like the violet flame, I know it's a flame, but it also comes in a liquid form. There's like a liquid flame. I also like floating in it. There's like you would just imagine there's like an ocean of purple, and you would just float on top of it, like looking into the stars. It's a meditation. It's really beautiful. And the last thing that I do before I fall asleep is I check in with my twin flame, actually. I really love it because, twin flame relationship is a best friend relationship, and it's like texting a best friend before going to bed is what I do. And I just get, his thoughts around what happened for the day. And I find that he's usually able to align me very lovingly and gently onto the best path. Now, our higher selves love us, but I feel like our twin flames love us even more sometimes, because, or maybe I should be speaking for myself. I love my higher self to death. She can be tough. My twin flame is not. And that's why I guess that is my closing ritual, and what you experience as a love from your twin flame. It's really worth the effort of connecting every single night. Alrighty, you guys. So these were just some of the simple things that I do. Somebody needed to hear this. I know this was super simple. Let me know if you are doing similar things already, or if there are any other daily rituals that you really, really love. And please let me know in the comments if you've tried sun gazing and how you guys felt, because it blew my mind when I tried it the first time around. Alrighty, my love, sending you a big virtual hug. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.